Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel if you haven't been here before, and if you haven't been here before, please subscribe to be a part of the bilingual family, which is mostly me trying to speak English and that didn't really work out. So in today's video I wanted to show you my recent favorite makeup products in a very chill kind of way. So I do these videos every 3 to 4 months where I show you the makeup products that I use every single day that I've been really liking and that are actual favorites. Most people do this every single month, but I found that my favorites just don't really change every single month. I don't want to show you guys products that I happen to like that month and then after a few months I found out that I don't really like them anymore. So these are my recent favorite makeup items, skincare items. I'm also going to show you some skincare, and yeah, let's jump right into it. So most of these products that I'm going to show you will be listed in the description box down below, where I will link everything. Those are affiliate links, which means that I make a small commission, so don't feel pressure to purchase through those links. They're just kind of there to help you and for me to make like a little bit of a commission. The Say Beauty Glowy Super Gel has definitely been a favorite recently. It's a type of glowy primer product, but that you can also use as a liquid illuminator. It's a very thin kind of formula, and then you blend it out and it gives the most natural and absolutely gorgeous sheen on your face. I like to use this underneath foundation, and I found that it's not too shimmery. It doesn't have like glitter particles and your face doesn't really look like a disco ball, and also it's quite translucent. It doesn't have as much of a base pigment to it as I thought it would. So what I mean by that is that it doesn't really have like a color to it. So it's a little bit like a translucent kind of color. So it definitely has a tone. The tone I would say is a very neutral. It's kind of more on the pink side, like that pearly pinky champagne. But once you blend it out, it disappears kind of, and then you're left with this beautiful, beautiful glow. And then I have 3 foundations that I've been really liking so far. So I have, let's go by order of pigmentation. So I have the Nabla Skin Realist Foundation, and it has a kind of pump mechanism where it's kind of like the Milk Hydro Grip. So when you pump it, it actually raises right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So it kind of goes up right here. So as you can see, I've used it quite a bit so far. It's a very thick kind of formula in the sense that it's whipped, but it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. And this is more of like a tinted balm. So this is meant as like almost like a tinted moisturizer. And I would definitely say that this is a product that gives me a lot of moisture. I also did a review on this product. If you want to see that, I'll link it somewhere on top. The finish is extremely glowy, so it's very, very dewy on the skin, but very moisturizing at the same time, and it really, really looks beautiful on the skin. Like, it has that sort of like second skin appearance. So I've been really liking this one. And then I also have a kind of in the same tinted moisturizer category, the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop or Easy Drop Blurring Skin Tint. Now this is kind of different from the Nabla one in the sense that this has a lot more pigmentation, I found, whereas this is like a sheer to light coverage. This is more like a light to maybe medium coverage. And at first when I apply this, I always feel like, oh, this is a little bit too dry. So the formula, I would say, like the finish of this formula is more of like a satin kind of finish, whereas this one is really, really dewy. Once I get past like that first 20 to 30 minutes, after that mark, my skin kind of has marinated in this skin tint and it looks absolutely fabulous. And then finally, we actually have a foundation that I've been really liking so far, and it's also the one that I have on my skin today. So this is the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation with hyaluronic acid, and it's supposed to have long wear. So this is a foundation that in the typical sense of the words, it's truly a foundation. What I really like about this foundation is that it's a beautiful foundation for when you want to go a little bit more glam, but you don't want to look cakey or too heavy. So this is a foundation that definitely has medium to high coverage. It really covers up almost everything on my face, but it leaves room for example, blemishes that I have to kind of peek through. High coverage foundations for me in general look very heavy and cakey on the skin, and this is one that doesn't really do that. It really is like a thin and liquidy consistency. When I want something that has even like more coverage than, for example, the fancy one, I go for the Catrice True Skin foundation. For concealer, I recently finished up my Kosas Revealer concealer, which is my all-time favorite, and then I went on to use the Essence Skin Loving Sensitive Concealer. So this is the concealer. It's not the concealer that I have on my face today, because this one is empty, dried up. But this reminds me a lot of the Kosas Revealer concealer. I would say that the consistency itself is a little bit more thin. It's not as whipped and creamy as the Kosas one, but it definitely has the same kind of natural second skin, almost like very hydrated finish underneath the eyes, and that's also why I really like this concealer. And it's also quite cheap. Obviously, it's Essence. Essence is always really cheap, and compared to other concealers that I've used from them, this is really a wonderful concealer. I always forget how many products I pile up when I don't do these monthly, but yeah. For powder, this is one that I have mentioned in a few videos, but I haven't really mentioned it as a favorite. So this is the Kosas Cloud Set powder, and I have the shade Aries. So this is what it looks like, beautiful, compact, lilac-y and stuff like that. And then this is the inside of the packaging. So it's a powder with a tint to it. This is what it looks like, and then you put it on your hand and it basically disappears on my skin. So the shade is really good for my skin tone. This has quickly replaced my Hourglass one. I find this powder to be absolutely beautiful, and I didn't realize that anything could get even more finely milled and non-cakey and non-drying on my skin. This is by far the best powder for dry skin. So if you have dry skin and you do experience, for example, a little bit of creasing underneath your eyes, and you do want to set that, but without your under eyes looking really dry or like cakey or texturized, this is the man or the woman or just the product. A lot of my blushes are amazing, I'm not gonna lie, but this is the blush that I've been gravitating towards the most, and it's definitely one of my favorites. This is Tropic Equinox, and it's the Kosas Color and Light Cream. So this is Tropic Equinox. It took me a long time to figure out how to say this name, but it's apparently Equinox, so I'm gonna call it Equinox from now on. But I love this specifically for the blush shade. Like, the highlighter is fine. It's almost like the one in the Velvet Melon one, just a little bit darker. So it's an amazing formula. So it's a very warm toned blush, but it has a little bit of that sun-kissed element to it, which I find so insanely beautiful. This is actually described as a bronzer. No, but I don't think this is really like the right undertone. It's very orange in that way for a bronzer. I like something a little bit more neutral in my bronzers. But as a warm toned blush, this is absolutely beautiful. It really gives you that sun-kissed effect, and it has a very like dewy finish, which is something that I like. And obviously creams mix very well with foundations or your skin texture. So it doesn't look emphasized, it doesn't look dry, it looks really natural, and this has been my favorite blush shade for like a very sun-kissed appearance. And then for bronzer, I have actually two new bronzers that I want to talk about. So the first one is actually my absolute favorite one of the last few months. It's also the one that I'm wearing on my face, so cheeks and forehead and nose and a little bit on the chin. So this is the Patrick Ta Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo, and this is like the major sculpt kind of thing. And I have the shade She's Statuesque. So this is what it looks like, and when you look at it up close, you can see that the P of Patrick Ta has already disappeared. And that's because I am obsessed with this formula. This bronzer, especially in terms of like shades, is almost perfection for my skin tone. The cream is a little bit more stiff than other cream bronzers that I have in my collection. or just other cream formulas in general, not necessarily cream bronzers. It's a little bit more stiff, but that means that it really stays in place quite well where you put it, and it doesn't move around throughout the day, which is something that cream sometimes can do when it's very hot and stuff like that. It kind of travels. But because this formula of the cream contour is a little bit like stiffer, it really sets down almost where you want it, but it blends out with ease. Then the bronzer shade is a little bit more warm toned on my skin, and it, again, very, very buildable, very easy to work with, really diffuses absolutely beautifully on my skin. And this has been like a major sculpt favorite of mine for the past couple of weeks. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I've been using it almost every single day, not gonna lie. Also for bronzer, I have the Danessa Myricks Beauty Balm Contour, and I have the shade, I think it's light one. Yes, light one. So this is what it looks like. This is quite different from the Patrick Ta one. This is really for like heavy duty, hello, I need some glam makeup look, or a very intense kind of sun-kissed appearance. That also has to do with the shade. The shade is definitely a lot like darker on my complexion than the one from Patrick Ta. I'm actually going to compare them really quickly. So here you have the Patrick Ta one, and then this one is the one from Danessa Myricks. So as you can see, the Patrick Ta one is definitely a lot more neutral, and then the Danessa Myricks one is definitely a lot darker. I would also say it's a lot warmer in tone, and it definitely seems to have a little bit of like that green undertone, so it's kind of like an olive undertone. So even though the tones of the Patrick Ta one and the Danessa Myricks one are quite different, I do actually like the Danessa Myricks one as well, and that's because of the translucency that this one has. The Patrick Ta one isn't as translucent in the terms of like the cream, so the cream is really like opaque. It's not necessarily pigmented, but it's opaque. And this one is almost like see-through, but it deposits color. Now, in terms of the color, I wouldn't say that this is necessarily like a contour shade for me, but the formula, because of the translucency, is really, really nice on my complexion. And it's also more of a matte formula once it eventually sets. So when you look at it, it definitely has a sheen. When you swatch it, it has a sheen. But when you apply it with either a brush or a sponge and then it kind of sets down, it's definitely more of a matte formula, and that also makes it really long wearing. So my first experience with the Danessa Myricks brand was absolutely fantastic, and I really, really like this one. And quickly, some other products that I've been really enjoying. For liquid highlighter, this Essence Glow Go Instant Highlighter, and this is the shade Fairy Lights. It's the one that I have on my skin right now. If you saw my initial video using this, I wasn't really blown away by it. I've continued to use it since, and now I am obsessed with it. I don't know what it was in that first video. I think my skin was really textured at the time, but I just didn't really see the sheeniness of this, and now I do. It's a beautiful highlighter that has a natural finish, and not necessarily natural in the shine that it gives, but the way it looks on the skin. So it's really like, again, almost like that second skin, really blends well into other products and lies lies really well on top of the skin as well. In terms of eyes, I've mentioned this before, but my NYX Lift and Snatch brow tint pen in ash brown is still my favorite product to use on my brows. It's a very versatile product. You can really go heavy-handed in it and give yourself a lot of bushy brows, or you can just fill in the gaps, for example, and make it really natural. The only thing that I found is sometimes it leaks a little bit and then I have too much product, so you want to be careful and always kind of like pre-test how it's applying. But yeah, this product has been wonderful. And then I also have the Essence Liquid Ink Eyeliner. This is an old product, not necessarily in my collection. It's one that I have used in the past, and now I have repurchased it. And since I did, I really, really like this. It's the one that I have on my eyes right now, but I really don't like this look. It's underneath the closet, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna grab it, but that one is really nice. And then also from Essence is the Lash Princess Powerful #Pink and Proud mascara. It's the one that they came out with for, I think, breast cancer awareness. And it's a beautiful formula, but it really gives me a lot of volume. It doesn't necessarily give me a lot of length, but it definitely gives a lot of volume, which is something that I really, really appreciate. Then finally, for lips in the makeup category, here are some products that I've been absolutely loving lately. The first one is the Vive Modern Matte Lipstick in Coming in Hot. So this is what it looks like, very Tom Ford-like, if I might say that. So you have like a little logo on the top. It's the one that I've been using like non-stop for the past couple of weeks. I really like the way that this like undertone looks on my skin, so let me just swatch it really quickly. That's what it looks like. Very neutral color, to be honest. In conjunction with like some of my lip liners, this lipstick is amazing. It's more of a matte formula, but it's very creamy and wearable. Like wearable in the sense that it doesn't make your lips like look completely dry. It's very a wearable kind of formula, so I like that. And then finally I have the Tower 28 Milky Lip Jelly in the shade Cashew. This, amazing. I love this so much. It's a really nice lip gloss that feels more of like a lip oil, I would say. It's very glidey, so it doesn't really have a lot of grip, and what I mean by that, it doesn't really have a lot of stick, so it just like glides over your lips and it's amazing. It really makes them look moisturized. Let me just, you know what, I have to be careful because my mirror is like miles away. So yeah, it has a beautiful sheen, very comfortable on the lips, really moisturized appearance, and I really, really like the shade of this as well. Again, I did a video on this, and ever since then I've been using it a ton. Final products, so I have 3 skincare products that I wanted to share with you. So the first one is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA plus BHA Pore Tight Toner. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have absolutely no idea what this is supposed to do, apart from the fact that it's supposed to make your like pores look tighter, but it hydrates my skin really nicely, and I've been really liking the way that this seems to make my skin look a little bit more plump. Obviously, I am not an expert in this kind of stuff, but I just really like the way that this feels on my skin. I like the little bit of hydration that it gives my skin, and it's been a nice addition to my everyday skincare routine. And then another product that I've been really liking, and I didn't think I would, is the Biossance Squalane Plus Vitamin C Rose Oil. So it's a facial oil to visibly brighten and firm. This is an oil that I've been really liking so far. Even though I have dry skin, I don't really like to use oils a lot. This is a product that I've been using for, I think, the past 2 weeks now. And I really like it because it's more of a dry oil, so it's not like extremely greasy on my skin, which is something that I really appreciate. And it also seems to sink well into my skin itself, so I always feel like it makes my skin look really hydrated. I'm testing out the Inculus Retinol Serum, which is something that I wanted to mention here. I've been really liking that one so far, but I don't want to say it's a favorite just yet because I haven't used it for long enough, and I kind of want to use it for a little bit longer before I show you like my full thoughts of what I think of it and if I recommend it or not. But for now, I've been really enjoying it. Ever since I started using that retinol together with these 2 products, my skin has been really good. It doesn't have like a lot of active breakouts. I have a few right now because of my period, obviously. And then also what I've been really liking is more of a mask. So this is the Inculus Apple Cider Vinegar Acid Peel. This is a product that I don't really use that often. I use it once a week, maybe even once every 2 weeks if I'm feeling like it, because I'm a little lazy. But I do find that this does very well. When I use this, it makes my face afterwards feel really, really soft. And I can feel that some of like my flakiness is gone. And that's why I really like this, because it's one of those acid kind of masks. that doesn't irritate my skin too much. And yeah, I've been really liking this one. And then finally is a perfume, a very expensive perfume, but I bought it anyway. So this is the Replica by the Fireplace perfume. This perfume has quickly become one of my absolute favorite perfumes. It's definitely something that is gonna be more suitable for like autumn time and winter time, because it's very warm, it's very musky, and it really smells like burnt wood. I don't know how they did it, but when you spray this, you smell wood that is burnt, which is a scent that I absolutely love. And when I can get that scent without the damage, I love it even more. I am definitely thinking of trying out a few more scents and seeing what I think of them, and maybe purchasing one that is more summer appropriate. But for now, I really, really enjoy this one. So these are really products that I highly recommend to you guys. If you're looking for something new, if you are interested in these products, they have a stamp of approval if you need one. No, but I just really like those products, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you want to, leave a like or a comment down below on this video, and I'll probably see you in my next one. And yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Bye!